Hi, I'm Dr. Dana Fillmore. I wanted to make this particular video because I really wanted to give couples hope. I wanted them to understand that almost all marriages can not only be saved, but can be happy and fulfilling again. I'm a clinical psychologist and I've been helping couples for over 15 years. When they come to see me in the office, one of the first things we talk about is the ups and downs of marriage. Couples need to understand that it's completely normal to fall in and out of love in a long-term marriage. If you talk to any couple that's been married for 50 years, they will tell you that there were many times when they were not in love with their partner. People are often quite surprised to hear this. Many of them assume that if they're currently not feeling connected or even attracted to their spouse, and maybe they haven't for a long time, that their marriage is probably over. When I let them know that it's not the case at all, and in fact, I explain that it's normal to go through periods of time when you're not as connected, I'll often start seeing the first glimmer of hope. I explain that monogamy is actually not a natural state. We aren't necessarily set up to stay with one person for the rest of our lives. So in order for that to be successful, we have to work at it. And having a long-term happy marriage is just not a skill many of us were taught. The good news is those skills absolutely can be learned. One of the reasons people have lost hope is that they assume that once they've fallen out of love with their spouse, they can't fall back in love. This is also not true. So I guess I really should be saying that falling in and out and back in love in a long-term relationship is normal and possible. Just knowing this is often enough to get people willing to do the work to save their marriage. But sometimes I have to go a step further and remind them that that's why they made a commitment. That's why they said those vows. And if they have kids, I explain pretty directly that not only do they have a commitment to each other, but they also have a commitment to those innocent bystanders to figure out a way to make it work. Let's be clear, I'm not encouraging people to simply stay in an unhappy marriage. I'm telling them that not only is it possible, but that they owe each other and their families their best effort to do the work and to get happy again. Last week I got in the mail a birth announcement for Kyle and Leslie's third child. Her name is Olivia. I met Kyle and Leslie about 4 years ago when they had come into therapy shortly after Leslie had served Kyle with divorce papers. They'd been married for, I think around 12 years. At that point, they already had 2 young kids, a hefty mortgage, thriving careers, and they were miserable. From Leslie's point of view, the marriage was pretty much over. She'd been asking for things to change for years and admitted that they would briefly, but they would always go back to the way they were. Kyle was shocked and hurt and scared. He knew they had problems, but he always figured they'd stay together. We quickly figured out that while they both had good intentions and had tried to make changes over the years, they never really figured out how. Almost as if they were truly intending to speak French, but never took French lessons. So of course, things would always go back to the status quo. Once they knew that there were clear and practical steps that could be learned and sustained, they had hope that they could have the marriage of their dreams, and they were willing to give it another try. This is really the first step on the path to a happy marriage. Hope. People have to really understand that investing and reconnecting in their marriage is possible. And going through the ups and downs of a long-term marriage can actually give you a better and stronger relationship. Now that you know this, I encourage you to dive back in, invest the time, learn the skills, and you just may end up with the marriage you hope for. If you found this helpful and you want to learn some more, click below.